warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Nurul Sakina.
Hey everyone, I am Mahmood.
And I'm Aiman.
Today, my groupmate and I will discuss on the issue of Budget 2021 approach on foreign direct investment. Foreign direct investment is an investment in the form of controlling ownership in a business in one country by an entity which based on another country. The government needs the inflow of FDI to Malaysia as it will bring a lot of benefits such as first, an increase in export, second, access to new technologies, and lastly, job creation and the increase of income for those who are employed by the investors. Based on Malaysia government, FDI position at Q3 2020 was mainly in the services sector, which accounted for 52.1% or 359.3 billion, and followed by manufacturing sector at 38.6% or 266 billion. Total outflow of FDI in Malaysia, mainly channeled to manufacturing sector, recorded at 3.6 billion. Thus, the government has proposed several initiatives through Budget 2021 that can attract the potential investor to stay and invest in Malaysia in 2021 in order to overcome the after effect of the pandemic that we are facing today. Next, the highlight from Budget 2021 on foreign direct investment is, first, the government has allocated 1 billion to provide a special incentive package for high value added technology. It aims to support research and development R&D investment in aerospace as well as electronic clusters. Second, the High Technology Fund worth 500 million provided by Bank Negara Malaysia to support high technology and innovative company is aimed on the need for automation as well as digitalization in pushing the country economy forward. The fund will enable Malaysia to remain competitive and maintain its position in the global supply chain ecosystem and protect high-skilled jobs. Third, the extension of the principal hub tax incentive and the next tax incentive for the establishment of a global trading center at a concessionary rate of 10% for a period of 5 years and renewable for another 5 years. Lastly, number 4, the government allocated 500 million for the implementation of the National Digital Network Initiative Jendela to provide connectivity for 430 schools nationwide. At the same time, the Malaysian Communication and Multimedia Commission will allocate 7.4 billion for the years 2021 and 2022 to build and upgrade broadband services.
And I'll be talking about the issues of foreign direct investment in Malaysia as well as suggest few recommendations which can help to overcome these issues. To begin with, lately, there has been an uncertainty in Malaysia political stability as well as a rise in the foreign labor's uncertainties. When a country is vulnerable to abrupt changes in the government or the political conflicts, the effectiveness of FDI could depend on the outcome of those conflicts. In Malaysia, the recent government conditions has led the investors to take a wait-and-see approach. Moreover, the recent government policies on the limitation of foreign workers could result in many MNC companies to be dissatisfied as well as leave the country, especially those from the sector of manufacturing companies with large-scale assemblies, logistics systems, and warehouses, those sectors which require large number of foreign workers. The second issue is related to the higher regulatory barriers for the foreign investors in industries which are not targeted by the Malaysian government. Foreign investments in services remain subject to review and approval by the government and agencies with jurisdictions over the relevant sectors, whether in sectors without any foreign equity limits or any sub-related sectors. The main purpose of this process is to assess if the full proposed investments fulfill the qualification of the government for the different incentives in place to support the objectives of the economic growth. Foreign investors in industries which are targeted by the government of Malaysia can obtain government assistance in obtaining the necessary approvals from various regulatory authorities. However, this does not apply to the non-targeted industries, which most likely can result in greater regulatory barriers. The third issue is related to the greater risk of industry barriers. Even though the Malaysian government has taken measures to liberalize its foreign investment policies, local equity participation requirements within specific sectors still continue to exist. In 2009, the Malaysian Foreign Investment Committee made amendments to its guidelines by limiting restrictions which limited the transactions by the foreign investors. However, in business sectors such as logistics, industrial training, and distributive trade, they were allowed to limit the foreign investors' participations when it came to operating license, permits, and approvals. Hence, this prevents the MNCs from entering such business sectors, and thus this results in industry barriers. To overcome these issues, what can be done by the Malaysian government is that, first of all, the ban on the low-skilled foreign workers who play a major role in the field of manufacturing, plantation, and construction must be lifted, since the ban could result in labor shortages, as most of the jobs done by the foreign workers are considered dirty, difficult, and dangerous, and these jobs cannot be done by the local workers. Secondly, the tax incentives could be extended to encourage businesses such as Malaysian manufacturing companies to relocate their business to Malaysia for another year until December 31st of 2022. Moreover, the government could introduce more incentives which can help to reduce the government bureaucracy, and this can help to attract more FDI. And lastly, and the most importantly, Malaysia must give high priority to its government stability, so as this will not only lead to better country governance, but also this will attract more FDI to Malaysia.
So when we talk about foreign direct investment, it is one of the many components of globalization that includes international trade and flow of funds, and many more. Hence, to analyze the Islamic perspective on globalization, which includes foreign direct investment, we first need to weigh in the pros and cons of it. So the pros of it is that globalization provides more choice to people in living life to both business and state. Thus, people can make an option to make the best decision to achieve their goals, which also means they can contribute to humankind to reach satisfaction, ultimate profit, and welfare. The cons of it is that globalization can also jeopardize the identity of the state and culture, take over businesses, and create a monopoly, control the supply chain, though this can be minimized through the role of the individual. So Islam teaches us the role of individual as the people and the government's role as a leader of people, according to these 4 principles. The first one is free yourself from foolishness. This can be interpreted as people who do not use the mind properly, such as someone who worships by working or giving, not because of God, but because they want power, praise, and satisfaction. The second one is freeing oneself from poverty. So a people or a country that categorized as the rich are the people or the country that uses the provision of God cleverly for charity to help the poor. The third one is freeing themselves from diseases, as Islam views disease that affect both human as well as country as a trial from God to man or a nation, as to aware of the greatness of God and devoted and worshipped solely because of Allah. And the last one is avoid yourself from falsehood, as Islam has demonstrated the straight and true, but many are impatient, so they lapse into action of falsehood in the meeting the needs of life, because poisoned by lifestyle materialistic. So that's it from us. Thank you very much.